Have you ever had that feeling like you're doing all the things? Like you are literally putting in your hard work, your time, your money, and all of your resources marketing your business and felt like your output is not equaling your input. And sometimes you may even feel a little discouraged by that. Like you're throwing spaghetti against the wall despite giving it your best efforts. Listen, I've been where you are. And it is a frustrating place to be, especially when you are that high achieving entrepreneur who is purpose driven and you are all about Father God's business. But you know what? There comes a point to where you start to second guess yourself and maybe even think like, God, am I cut out for this? Do I really know what I'm doing? Am I in the right business? And all the white noise starts to come up. What if it's that's not the truth? What if it's something else? What if there's something bigger to this whole picture that could be easily fixed? In today's podcast episode, I'll be talking about 3 reasons your marketing ain't working and what you can do about it. I want to give you some hope this Thanksgiving. Yeah, we are just a couple days away from it, and I want to make sure that you have a few tools in your pocket to inspire you as you are preparing for this next season. Are you ready to get into it? I'm ready to share what's on my heart. Let's do this doggone thing.
What's up, leader? Welcome to the Gifted Entrepreneur Show, the dopest podcast on the planet that explores the world of Christian entrepreneurship and reveals secrets to unlocking your unique codes to create generational wealth. I'm your host, LaDondra Hervey, wife, mom, award-winning author, and Christian business coach who's excited to take you on a transformational journey of taking bold steps to unlock your unique gifts and pursue your entrepreneurial dreams with unwavering faith. Buckle up. It's time to make your dreams of creating generational wealth a reality.
Hey, hey, what's up, gifted entrepreneur family? I pray that you are off to a phenomenal start to your Thanksgiving holiday week. We are in this thing. I pray that you're taking some time to really bask in all the amazing things that God has done, all the amazing things that you have done, and how you've showed up for you and your family and for your business, despite what you may have wanted to accomplish. Maybe you've reached those goals, maybe you hadn't. Either way, can we just take some time to celebrate that you are still alive and there is still time and that God is still good and that all things are still working together for your good and for his glory. And so I just pray and want to speak a word over you that you would walk in a spirit of celebration, basking in the amazing things that you have already done. And I just pray that your heart is filled with just so much love and so much thanksgiving, despite what you have, what you don't have. And I just want to encourage you, those of you who've lost loved ones around this time, just know that God is still sitting on the throne. He hears you, he loves you, and he is the great comforter. Lean into him and be encouraged. So you guys, today's episode, I just want to take some moments to just really lean in onto the topic of 3 reasons your marketing isn't working and how to fix it for good. Do you think that's possible to fix your marketing for good? Y'all, I want to start this with a story. And because my thing is I like to be transparent. I'm not the type of leader that try to fake it and act like I have everything together, because guess what? This girl right here don't. My journey is a progressive journey, and I love it because it keeps me humble. It keeps me at the feet of the Father, but it also helps me to stay empathetic to my audience and to the people that I am being called to serve, and not to get too far away from the things that are really affecting business owners and where they are. And so for me, I wanted to share this story because there's been times in my business to where, y'all, I have invested and invested and invested. When I tell you I've invested to the point of a complete like master's degree, I have. And that's in cash. And if you add in what I've invested for actual college on top of that, like I've invested at a doctorate's degree and just my personal development and my business development, my whole educational journey. And my heart has always been to do things with excellence and really be educated, be informed, and to have the knowledge that I need to really show up in the power and the authority, and to really shine in my gifts, because God says that we are the light of the world, like a city set on the hilltop. And no one has a light and go and hide it under the basket. And I just didn't want to be that person where I hid my gifts under the basket because I felt like I didn't know what I needed. And then even sometimes we could be so educated that we still go and hide our light under the basket. But for me and my story, I remember I did all the investing. I've participated in all the courses. Like, I've been to marketing courses, sales courses, and on and on and on, courses to create courses, and just all the things. Because I'm like, I got to make a great impact and all this stuff. And it came a point to where I was like, my output wasn't equaling my input. I was investing a lot of time, I was investing a lot of money, I was investing a lot of resources out to really attract my ideal clients and to make my business profitable, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And I got to a place to where I was super discouraged. And when I say super discouraged, I'm just crying. I'm just like, God, like, you have left me. Like, I'm doing everything you asked me to do. I didn't come out here on this journey by myself. Like, I came out here to do your will, and my heart is to do it your way, but God, I'm lost. I'm really trying, and I'm giving it my best. I'm staying up. I'm getting up early. And then I'm honoring, like, when then I realized, well, that ain't the way. And I was like, I'm honoring the Sabbath now, and just all the things. And so I'm on this. I found myself in this crazy cycle, feeling like I was throwing spaghetti up against the wall, despite trying to be intentional to do everything I needed to do to grow my business. But what I found is that it wasn't that I needed more knowledge as far as taking another course or getting some more information, but I really needed a system that would help me to enter into that next level. And when I say a system, a marketing system that had measurable outcomes, that are quantifiable, that resonates with my ideal client in a way that that helped me to leverage my time, my talent, and my resources in a way where I wasn't doing more, but I was, and when I say doing more and spinning my wheels, I was doing less with more by leveraging the right marketing system. And so today's podcast episode is dedicated to those of you who are feeling the way I felt. And you felt like you've been doing all the things, and you've been praying, you've even fasted, and you've decreased, and you're like, you know what, guy, I'm just at my wits' end and I'm feeling hopeless. I want to inspire you and just tell you that there is still hope. Hope is still available. It all comes down to creating the right systems. When you think about how Jesus went, well, God, when he created the earth, but he did it in partnership with Jesus. So I can, and then I can say in Jesus, because it's God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. They are the Trinity. And so when he created, we know that God is a God of order. And so he created from a system of order. And to the point to where when he laid the foundations of the earth in the beginning, and then that very foundation that he laid the right foundation to where Jesus then was able to build on that foundation to create the world that we now see. It's as if the foundation was laid and then he handed over the clay, the tools. I want to just call it like the clay that he would need to mold the mountains and to do all the things that he would need to do. But it was all systematic. And on one day he created the light. He said, let there be light, and there was light. And then he created the land, and then he created and there was a systematic approach to it. And then even within that system of things that was built, there's systems underneath that to cause the plants to grow. There's things that has to happen for the plants to continue to be nurtured and to continue to grow year after year after year. Y'all, the same is true for us. And a lot of times we find ourselves being caught in the culture of trying to do more, and that doing more is actually working against us, because what hasn't happened is we are focusing on the doing versus the being. And that first part, so the very first thing that I want to say is the reason why your marketing isn't working is because you haven't slowed down enough to assess the system. And then you haven't slowed down enough to even create a system for that matter. What is your marketing system? Have you defined what that looks like? And is it a marketing system that is when we think about a system, it's a repeatable process that yields a predictable outcome. And so have you taken time to really lean into what that system looks like? If you haven't, then that very thing, it doesn't matter how much you do, you can be doing a lot on the front end, and you may be bringing customers in, but then you find that you're in a place of feast or famine, and you're always striving. You're in a place of striving. I need my next customer. I need my next customer. Like, or your customers, like you're finding them and they're spotty. And it's like, when I say spotty, it's like you get some, then there's a long dry spell before you get another, and then there's another, and then there's a long dry spell. Well, what if you had the right system in place that that led to predictable outcomes that were in your favor, in the favor of the direct result that you have actually been praying about? So what if it's not that you're not saying the right prayer? Maybe it's that you need to create the right system to align with that thing that you're praying about, so you can create the results. Maybe you need to lay the foundation for your marketing efforts for to come to fruition as you have been desiring for them to come to fruition. I hope that what I'm putting out is making sense to you, because first and foremost, you have to have a marketing system, a repeatable process that yields a predictable outcome. And before you can do that, then you got to also have vision. You need to know what are you aiming for? What are your marketing efforts directly aimed for? So that's the second thing. And so, do you know what you're aiming for? Because if you don't know what you're aiming for, you will hit it every time, and that is absolutely nothing. And so, a lot of times we think, okay, well, I'm aiming for, of course, LaDondra, I want to have more money. Okay, well, what does that mean? How specific is that? And how are you going to get how much more money? And what is that right strategy? What is that targeted strategy to help you to position yourself to get the income that you're desiring for? So if you're planning to end the year at $100,000, what system needs to be in place? What's the goal that we need to be aiming for to target our marketing efforts? If you don't know what that looks like, then that's when you start to say, I feel like I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall. I'm investing in all the programs, I'm doing all the right things, but how many of you know that sometimes the right things that's right for another business is not necessarily right for your business? So just because doing ads is right for this other business, it may not necessarily be right for the season of your business. There's a time and a season for everything under the sun. And so if you're not sure where you are, then you may be doing some things that's out of season when it comes to the marketing. It's not wise to do ads if you're not clear on your messaging. If you haven't got clear on your messaging and tested it in the marketplace to see if this is strong enough for it to hit the bullseye of the heart of your target audience, to move them into an emotional experience to want to do business with you, then it's like you're putting money in a slot machine and hoping for a return. And no matter how hard you're praying, those prayers are not coming to fruition because it's not targeted in alignment with a good strategy that is going to bring forth the results that you've been praying for. So it's a prayers without works is dead. And so we want to make sure that the type of work, and so when we think about that, it's we pray and we work, but we want to work strategically, because not all hard work, it says all hard work leads to a profit, but then when we work, there's a certain type of work that leads to a higher profit. That no, you're not only profiting in your soul, you're profiting financially, you're profiting in the impact that you're making in the marketplace, and you're profiting in the way that you're showing up, in a way that makes you feel confident in your efforts. And so we want to make sure that the things that we're doing, it's right for our business. So now part three of this is that you want to make sure that it's tailored. You want to make sure that you have a tailored experience that is right for your business. Are you following cookie cutter strategies that that worked for this high-end coach that is marketing it? It may have worked for them and a couple other people in their organizations. And I'm not saying that how they're marketing is a bad thing, because it's a great thing. But is that the right thing for your business? Is it the tailored, customized strategy that you need to yield the predictable income and predictable impact that you're wanting to make in your business? We gotta get specific, y'all. I feel this in my belly. Like, I had some things that I wrote down, and I gotta tell you, I'm not even speaking on not one of those things. These are things that are directly from the 9 years that I'm almost at a decade of being in business. and helping Christian entrepreneurs to really break through in their business. And one of the things, and just create this rapid acceleration where they're collapsing decades into months, and those months into days, and those days into moments where there's just breakthroughs that's just happening. And I'll have to tell you that the way that those things are coming forth is that it's all about understanding the who you're working with, and creating those tailored systems that work in favor with the entrepreneur that's sitting in front of you. It's not about doing what's worked well for all the others, because what worked well for a juicing business may not work well for a coaching business, or may not work well for a product based business that is focused on selling jewelry, or whatever the case is. We, just like we are all unique based on our fingerprint, our businesses is all unique. It doesn't matter that there are thousands of other wellness coaches in the marketplace, or relationship coaches, or jewelers, or whatever the case. It doesn't matter. They are not you. They don't create the brand experience that you create. They don't have the same ingredients of personality and market experience, or even customer journey that you bring to the table. And so many times you find yourself lost in the sauce, because you haven't got specific enough to find your own way to say, you know what, like, this is my differentiating factor. This is what makes me my unique selling proposition, that makes me distinct in the marketplace. This is my focus efforts that I need to place my investment of time, money, and all the things. One thing that, when people start to work me with me, a lot of things that I'll tell them is, stop doing that. Like, don't, and when I say stop doing that, that's like a great thing for them in their business. I'm telling them to stop spending money in the directions that's not yielding the highest return on their time and money. I want entrepreneurs to do things that creates a multiplication effect in their business. I am all about results. I a lot of time refer to myself as the queen of results. I absolutely, y'all, you do not understand how much I love seeing my clients to have that breakthrough where they're getting results to the point to where they move from a place of feeling like they didn't know what to do. They was feeling like they wasn't cut out for the work that they're doing, second guessing themselves, and second guessing the calling on their lives, when they are the most gifted one in the market to do the thing that they're doing. But they started to feel like, well, maybe I'm not, because I've tried all the things. You know, there's a saying that says, you if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But how many of you know that, despite your best efforts of planning, you can do all the planning that you want to do, but if you don't know, like, if you don't have the experience to make that plan, what you will find yourself doing is in a cycle of busy work that's never getting you to the place that you want to get. Or if you are making progress, you're making progress from a place where you're in struggle and strife, and it feels like you're pushing a boulder up a mountain. And and then you start to say, God, give me the strength to climb this mountain. Do you know that if we're really walking in the strength and the power of the Lord and the authority of the Lord, we're not asking God to give us strength to climb the mountain. We're speaking to that mountain, and we're speaking to that mountain, and we're demanding that that mountain be moved. Part of the way that we speak to that mountain, and we demand it to be moved, is that we have to be strategic in the way that we show up and we speak to that mountain. We have to be specific, and then as we be specific, then we have the faith, and that those specifics gives us the faith that we need to to not doubt and to waver and to continue on. And then we walk in a place of grace because we know that we've done the best that we can. We've got expert support. It says plans fail without wise counsel. We got to get wise counsel so that when we speak, we're speaking to the thing how we need to speak to it, and we're speaking with the specifics and the specific strategy. Do you know the way that the walls of Jericho, that unpenetratable wall, it fell was because they got specific instructions from the king himself, Jesus Christ. Well, God himself, as Jesus hadn't entered the picture yet, but God himself gave them those specific instructions. And so they had to sit and get wise counsel. But then as they got that wise counsel spiritually, they partnered together in the physical, and they band together to carry out those instructions. A lot of times what we're missing is not that we need another program, or again, because y'all, I love learning. I love books. I love programs. So I'm not speaking against none of that. Trust and believe. I want you to learn. I want you to be empowered. I want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. But I want you to do it strategically in a way to where you're empowered. And a lot of times what you need, but so walking beside you, is a growth partner who is sowing seed into the vision that God has given you by providing the structure that you need to really fulfill the mandate of the calling of that assignment, and do it in a way to where you are able to steward the territory that God has entrusted you with. That means you're able to steward the people, you're able to steward the resources, you're able to create the infrastructure that draws the people in. And as you draw the people in, then you're able to not only to succeed and carrying out your intention of whatever your product or your service is, but you're able to create things on the back end systems. That's another tip right there, is creating those back end systems. So you need a forefront marketing system and you need a back end marketing system. A lot of times we have things on the front end to really draw in customers, but then once we have those customers in, what do you have on the back end for retention? What do you have on the back end to help to partner with your existing clients to help bring in more customers? What do you have in the back end to increase your lifetime customer value? That is how much a customer is spending with you over a period of time. What do you have going on? What type of system, again, that is systematically in place, that it's repeatable, it's a repeatable process that yields a predictable income? Or are you second guessing every time? And that's when you don't have anything on the back end, that's when you find yourself in the feast or famine. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I've had to slow the whole boat down. I had to slow the whole boat down to really get my systems in place. Because if I'm being honest, I was killing it and knocking it out the park for my clients and doing all of this work. And I made a big transition in my own business, and I hadn't slowed down to put those systems in place, for that marketing system in place. And I felt that I was drawing in people, but those people wasn't converting into paying clients. And it became to where I was frustrated because I'm putting a lot of dollars out the door to attract the clients, to acquire leads, but then those leads wasn't turning into paid clients. And so it was as if I had leaks in my in my strategy, to where, like, just think about water going in, and like what they call I think you call it a cylinder, and it's not a cylinder, it's something, where you put the water in when you're cooking, and you drain out like your vegetables and stuff like that. It's something like that. I can't think of the name of it, but think of it like that. When you don't have the right system in place, you're pouring water into a bucket that has holes in it. There's a gooder. Ha! There's a better example that you can grab a hold of. And so when you don't have that repeatable system in place, front end, the back end, and you haven't really identified what is the customer journey that's the best, all the way from the front to consideration to getting on the phone, and now they've become a prospect, then now turning that prospect and through human connection into a paid client that then becomes a raving fan, that then not attracts other people, but then also refers others to you, and it's just a win-win type of situation. Do you have that in place? If not, this is not the time to go have shame. This is a time to say, you know what? We're at almost the end of November. We're at the final week of November. And we're getting ready to enter into over just a little bit over a month. We're getting ready to enter into 2025. Now it's like, okay, how do I get what I need so that I can pivot and I can recalibrate so that I can get the right infrastructure in place that I need to create those predictable marketing outcomes, predictable income that I need through a repeatable process that is going to yield real results. Y'all, if you know that stop playing games with it. And let's partner together. This is things that I absolutely love doing. I have experience. I have all the case studies that can back up all the things that have been done and the type of work that I help my clients with. Clients who come through my systems, they have doubled and tripled their income in 90 days or less. That's not I'm not the type of person to where I'm about fluffing games. I just don't like it because I don't want anybody to do that to me. That's why I created the no fail, it's not it's the no fail, the fail proof marketing mastery 60-day program where I'm going to be walking entrepreneurs like yourself through a step-by-step process to create your marketing plan that will set you up for the first quarter and even in 20 just truly I want to say this. So for some people, because I want to be very clear, it's going to set you up for the very strong first quarter to where you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, like I've made more progress than I've made in the whole year in one quarter." And the reason why I want to drill it down to focusing on a quarter is because a lot of times we can get so caught up in a year that it's like, yeah, everything that we've done, it's like about the year, and we're not focused in on what we need to be doing to create that repeatable process that we can now use. We've tested it. Now we can use that into Q2, Q3, and Q4, and all we just need to do is refine it based on where we are and the information that we've got. Now that is some powerful marketing there. And so, though many of you may be like, okay, well, when you go through the program, you'll start to get all the tools that you need where you'll be able to plan out your whole 2025. My goal is to get you set up for a very strong Q1 marketing plan. And then from that, now you'll have that process that you can repeat again, Q1, Q2, Q3. And then all you got to do is to continue to refine it. I want to get you on a growth track to where you can start to attract clients on repeat instead of being in a feast or famine type of situation. I want to get you into a place to where you're soaring and not in sorrow, It said the word says they that wait upon the Lord, they will renew their strength. They will mount up on it with wings like eagles, and they will soar. Y'all, I want us, you've been waiting on the Lord. This is your season to renew, to have your strength renewed. And part of that renewal is getting the right help and the right resources that you need so that you can mount up like an eagle, and you can with wings, and you can soar. Your business can mount up with those wings to soar into new territories, and you can take back ground, and you can get the things that have been stolen from you, and you can take back those years where the enemy has just taken things from you. When I say taken things, this is your mental health, where you've been just like you've been fighting, and you're like, God, I'm at the brink of giving up. You can take back your financial well-being, where you've been in this place to where you don't even know if you're going to be able to pay your bills. You can get back to a place to where you're saying, you know what? Like, I got this. And I know that God's got me. I have something that gives me God confidence to really step into this business and do it in a way to where I'm doing more by doing less. I'm working higher instead of working harder, because now I have partnered strategically with someone who's walked the walk that I am currently on, who's gone through the trenches and felt the pains, the labor pains of what it felt like to birth at a new level of acceleration, a new level of growth. And y'all, I am serious about doing this thing and doing it together. So let me tell you, and I'm about to be done because I didn't gave it all to you. If you ain't heard me and really like went deep down in what I said, then I don't know what to tell you. But I do know to tell you this part. There comes a point in your business to where you got to stop making those excuses and saying, talking about what you don't have. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have whatever else. It comes a place in your business to where you say, God, I thank you and I trust you that I have all the time and the resources that I need to do everything that you've called me to do. It reminds me of one of my amazing former clients, Jaslyn, who literally said, I don't have the money. But when I tell you, and she knew me from no one. She was actually referred by a family member. If they saw me online, I believe it was. She knew me from no one. She did not have the money. But she said, I trusted. And I trusted God, and I went and prayed. And so she found a way. And when I tell y'all, in less than 90 days, she went from $2,000 to $8,000 per month. When I say $2,000 a month, struggling to $8,000 per month. And shortly after that, in just a matter of months, she hit $10,000 a month. Y'all, that's the type of trajectory that I want to help set you on in 2025. There's my other client, Rochelle, who she heard me on a podcast, and she said, to even be honest with you, I don't even know all the things you were saying on the podcast. I just knew that there was a fire in my belly that said I needed to work with you. And in 90 days, she went from making $100, that's $100, to at $6,000 a month. She was positioned at $6,000 a month. She 13x her income, y'all. Like, this is the type of things and the type of trajectory of growth that I want your business to be growing on. Because when you can do better, you can help other people, and then your success helps to make this world a better place. Your success helps you to get positioned position to have a seat at the table to make important decisions that affect your family, our community, and our country as a whole. And if you're not in, we don't share the same country. Whatever happens in one country, it affects another country, and that's why there's alliances. And so we need one another, and we need to see you thrive, and we need to see you thrive in 2025. And so it starts with you having a fail proof marketing plan, and that it has systems tied to it that's going to yield a predictable outcome month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, that now you can depend on, and it takes you out of stress and overwhelm to predictable results that you can look back on and say, you know what, I'm trajecting well. Here's some ways that I can pivot and still have peace, and I'm not having to spin my wheels doing all the things all the time. If you're interested in that, this is a 1 week. Actually, we're really, once you get this is actually, it's ending Friday. This is US time. Okay. So Friday, no, you got extra day. So it's actually ending Saturday. This upcoming Saturday, November the 30th at 1 p.m. Central Time. There will be absolutely no exceptions on this. And when I tell you I have made the price super affordable, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the price is. Because I don't want anybody who is just tire kicker energy. I'm just going to be honest with you. I want somebody who is coming in this and like, you know what? I'm ready. Now is the time, and I'm done playing games. I'm ready. I just need the help. So let's do whatever we need to do to partner. It's at only $597 to work with me over the next 60 days to help you set up everything that we've discussed, to get yourself set up for a phenomenal first quarter that propels you into a phenomenal second, third, and fourth quarter that then helps you to continue to keep that predictable, have that predictable, that consistent, repeatable system that creates that predictable outcome that you've been praying for. That's what we're going to be doing in the fail proof marketing mastery program. I'm going to link the link into the podcast bio, and all you got to do is click it and pay before 1 p.m. Central Time on November 30th, US time. And I will send you within 24 hours your everything you need for you to take the next step. I'm going to tell you now, I don't have a bunch of fancy things behind it, like where you get all these emails and all that stuff. I this is a very personal experience. So I'm going to email you and within 24 hours, and I'm going to say, okay, here's next steps. And then we're going to set up times that we need. It's going to be in an intimate group setting. And we're going to set up times and we're going to get everything together. You're going to have your onboarding with me. And we're going to get everything set for you to have that customized experience to create those results that we've just talked about. No more throwing spaghetti against the wall. No more second guessing yourself. No more trying to figure it all out on your own. No more repeating the same year of feast and famine. No more of that. It's time out. And it's time to get a strategic plan that it works in your favor. It's time to get wise counsel and hire a growth consultant that is going to be invested fully in seeing you grow using the strategies that are a fit for your business. They're not cookie cutter, they are truly a fit for your business. If that's what you're needing right now and you're ready, it's that one-time investment of $597. All you got to do is click the link, and everything that you need will be right there at the payment card. I pray that this episode has been a blessing to you, and I look forward to seeing you level up and thrive in 2025. If this podcast episode has been a blessing to you, I just ask that you just take a quick moment to leave me a 5-star review and just share with me in that quick comment how this podcast blessed you today. What was your biggest aha that you're taking away and applying to your business right away? Until next time, continue to be blessed by the best.
Did that episode feel juicy or what? If so, please do me a favor and take 30 seconds to write a review. Your review helps us to spread the mission of creating generational wealth around the world. And if you tag me on IG stories, I'll be sure to reshare the love. And don't forget to join our Kingdom Collaborators Network, where we're coming together to intentionally collaborate to grow our business. Until next time, remember, for with Christ, nothing is impossible.